loves you, baby.
Happy Friday, and today we have another special guest with us. We know him as the as our friendly bailiff at the courthouse, Jay Regalado. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing? Thank you for having me here.
Well, but no, I think thank you, Jay, for coming on. And even though I told you that Chris Cavazos was going to be the co-host, you said yes. I'm still coming on.
He was willing to lower his standards to be with us today.
So,
and I know Ef'n, we know him as a friendly bailiff, but how about we let Jay introduce himself?
yeah, Jay,
Because he's our friend.
he's our friend.
He should be your friend, but introduce yourself.
My name is Jay Regalado. I was born here in Edinburgh, Texas. Matter of fact, like really 5 blocks north on 10th Street here in Edinburgh. I went to school, elementary school, down the street at Sam Houston Elementary. It used to be located right next to the courthouse. Then after that, I went to junior high at North Junior High, just down the street from the courthouse. And then I went to Edinburgh High School, graduated 1992. After that, I went to UTPA at the time. It wasn't UTRGV, but I went and I got a degree there in the political science. I'm about 9 hours short of getting my master's degree in public administration at the University of Texas Pan American. So after that, while I was in college, I worked at Cantu's Pharmacy, which is down the street here, across the street, for about 4 or 5, maybe 7 years, working there at Cantu's Pharmacy. After that, I got my degree. I started teaching. I started teaching at Veterans Memorial High School in Mission. I was a social studies teacher and a basketball coach, men's basketball coach. And I did that for a year, and then I got recruited by an assistant principal from McCall Memorial High School, Miss Larson, if you're watching. Thank you. So then I started teaching at Memorial High School, McCall Memorial, Mustangs. I was a social studies teacher as well. I didn't do coaching at Memorial High School. I went just full-blown teaching. So I taught world geography, world history, and then in the summer schools, I would do government and economics for the graduating seniors. I did that for about 3 years. And then after that, I got a job with Child Protective Services.
Oh, wow. That's a big change.
Big change.
Big change. Well, I wanted to make an impact. While I was a teacher, we had a lot of issues with students. And, you see them 8 to 3, and they have more issues at home. They would come to school. They would talk about issues they had at home. So after that, I figured, Texas Department of Family and Protective Services was a good fit for me. So I did that. I did that for a year. All the wrongs that were done to these children, I figured, how can I make more of an impact to help children? So I went ahead and applied to the FAR Police Academy to become a peace officer. I wanted to try that. And I did. I went to FAR Police Department. I applied and went to the academy. I think there was about 210 candidates that tested, and 6 of us made it.
Oh, wow.
The 210 step.
Do they put you on a lie detector?
They do. It's called a polygraph, and I did the polygraph prior to gaining entrance into the academy, and it's pretty extensive. So it's a series of about 100 to 200 questions.
Man, that sounds like a regular night at my house with my wife right before we go to bed. That's what it sounds like.
Did she hook you up with the lie detector test too, or
Just
what?
about.
She's got the human lie detector. She puts her finger on your neck to feel your heart rate.
Oh, yeah. So I know what you mean. I mean,
And do your sons help her? I mean, do they hold you down?
no, they're pretty much like asleep. I mean, they don't. She doesn't want like any witnesses to the corporal punishment that's going to go down.
Oh, so do you get waterboarded is the question.
Exactly. Less witnesses. I'm sorry, Jay, but I have to say it. I just have to say it, man. For some reason, every time I look at you, Jay, I see Tony Savala, Kojak.
Is it Telly?
Is it Telly?
Yeah, Telly Savalas.
I don't even know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Kojak, like.
It was before Christmas.
I was saying you both are significantly older than me, so significantly like 2 years.
He was a great TV cop.
Yeah.
Great. Were you anything like that?
Bald guy. The guy with the lollipop, and he had a phrase, right? Who loves you, baby? I think
I remember that now. Who loves you, baby?
Yeah, I think it was that. That was his signature line, like "Who loves you, baby?"
What type of police officer were you?
A patrol officer. I was a patrol officer there in FAR. I got an opportunity to join the sheriff's office, so I left FAR and I joined the sheriff's office.
And how old were you when you joined the sheriff's office here in Hidalgo County?
My 20s.
Because I've known you for a long time, Jay, and you've never aged. I mean, you look the same from when I met you when you were at the sheriff's office. I've been an attorney since 2009. Not to age myself too bad.
He's Kojak, man.
Yeah,
Kojak
never aged. I think now I
doesn't
remember this
age.
guy. The hair?
No, you just. You know what I think it is? I think it's because you don't see the hair. I think that's what it is.
Well, can you reveal? I think at the courthouse, how long had you been a deputy before you were assigned to the work at the courthouse?
Shave it off. You don't see the gray. You don't see the balding. You don't see the nail pattern balding.
I remember
the way it was. Let's say about 2 years. 2 years is when I started the sheriff's office. I was a patrol deputy, and I got recruited. To go to special services. I thought that was interesting. I said, great, like, what are we going to do that's so special? I said, you're going to report to the courthouse tomorrow. I'm like, all right, well, what happened? Did I mess up? Something happened.
What did I do?
Was there a complaint? Yeah. And I had to turn in my unit that I had for patrol, and I got a different unit for the courthouse. And I didn't know what the difference was. So they said, well, yeah, it's a difference because these units here come from this budget, and the units for patrol come from this budget. So you would think okay, when you're in law enforcement, they all kind of share the same units, but I was surprised to know that it was different.
And were the units the same other than that distinction?
No. What they do is it comes out of the different budgets.
Well, that's what I'm saying is besides the source of the money. I'm just wondering,
he wouldn't be needed to chase anybody.
That's what I was wondering. Is one a high-powered engine and the other one just a regular vehicle?
No, well, I mean, I think they all have their special accommodations to where if they need to chase somebody, they can do that. I went to the courthouse, and that's where I met you guys.
Yeah.
And you meet a lot of interesting people at the courthouse, people that are there for court, or people that are there to defend those in court, or those that are there to judge. And I happened to meet very interesting people.
You want to know a really good question to ask Jay?
We're not at the bailiff part yet.
Why? I want to know why he became a cop, because I know why you became a lawyer for money, women, and prestige. But Jay, why did you want to become a cop?
Almost every job I've had, none of it's been for money. I don't know why some people are driven by money. Some people are driven by, maybe they want to build a career in the medical field and the legal field. That was never a motivation for me. I never got motivated by money. I got motivated by the service of it. When I was a teacher, I thought maybe I could do more for the kids, because, I had a girl that came up to me, a student, that said, sir, can I talk to you outside? And we had this protocol. If a female wanted to talk to a male teacher, well, then we needed a witness, a female witness. So I had a teacher next door, Miss Nogueras, and I said, I knocked on her door, Miss Nogueras, can you come outside? And she came out. What's going on? One of my female students wants to talk to me, and can you just witness it, please? And we're in the hallway, and called out the student, and she broke down. She said she got dressed a certain way, and it was during Valentine's, and that she recalls that she was a victim of sexual assault by her stepdad. So little things like that led me to think, okay, maybe I can do more than just be here for them 8 to 3, right? Teach a subject. Let me see if I can help more. And that was the natural progression for me, going into law enforcement.
How is it transition?
You should learn something from him, Chris. You should be taking notes.
Live
a fulfilled life.
If I remember, you wanted to become a lawyer because you saw a picture of a Lamborghini and said education is the way to this, and that's why you became a lawyer. Next question. Thank you.
Next question. We're taking up Jay's time. Jay's valuable
Big
time
career.
here. Come on.
Can I do my job now?
Go ahead.
So, and then once you no longer worked at the sheriff's office, you became a bailiff. How has that been a change?
Well, the ultimately the truth in the matter is out there in the county rural areas, bad things happens every day. Of course, bad things happen every day, and in the courthouse, people might say, well, I don't feel, so secure because, X, Y, and Z, right? But the mere fact that, let's say nothing happens, people think, well, nothing ever happens. Well, then there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Nothing happens. Because I think if you compare the rural area and you compare the courthouse, and if somebody gets hurt in the rural area, if news ain't there, you don't know about it. If something happens in the courthouse,
Everybody's going to know about it.
everybody's going to
And
know
within a
about it.
minute.
And then later, I think after like 10 years, I got a position as a bailiff with the 93rd District Court under Judge Fernando Mancias.
But Judge Fernando Mancias like isn't just any ordinary judge. He's like the legend, Judge Fernando Mancias. So like, what made him like hire you, or how did that like come about?
I met with him. We went to go have breakfast at La Olla, just east of Edinburgh, and I sat down with him. And I had given him a resume, and it had my credentials in there. And true story. So we went and I met with him at La Olla, and he's a very early riser. He's maybe up like 4 or 5 in the morning. So I was up at 4 in the morning, getting ready, shining my boots, getting ready, starching my shirt. I went to go meet them, and he was already there. So I get there, sat down with him, and you're kind of intimidated because, I mean,
he's a very intelligent man, very well spoken,
but very, very humble man of few words. But he lets you talk, And I sat there and I talked about myself, and he's sitting there and he says, I saw your resume, and I was talking with my daughters. I mean, kind of want me to hire you already. I want to give you the job, and I think you're overqualified. You sure you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. He's like, okay. So I did take a pay cut, but just knowing the judge I was going to work for, I was willing to do it. It would be the equivalent of like your favorite actor telling you, hey, man, you want to work on this movie with me, and you're just going to get paid scale.
Yeah, but you want to work with Scorsese?
Yeah.
You want to work with Scorsese?
There you go.
Yeah. You've been sacrificing. What's your next sacrifice? What's your next step? Or how do you feel, I guess, what's your next goal?
I mean, he's running for like JP.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
I mean, that's
the candidate.
I mean, he's running. He's running. So why doesn't he tell us?
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Why he's running?
If you let him answer the question.
Well, you're using such big words.
Like hello?
Yeah, like you're losing me.
Don't let their bickering fool you. These guys are great legal minds.
One of us is.
This is like a hobby for them.
One of us.
These guys are great legal minds, man. You guys ever get into a pickle, man, and you need legal minds? These guys are it, man. These guys are it. Quick and in a hurry. The reason I'm running for JP, again, every time in my life that I've seen something, I kind of like, okay, let me see how I can help in this field. And as a natural progression, I've mentioned my work and my history and work.
You've learned from probably one of the hardest working judges in the county. I mean, I think if that man could be at the courthouse 8 to 8, he probably would be. But unfortunately, unfortunately for him, fortunately for you guys, it closes at 5 most of the days.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's there and he does it. So it's proof that it can be done. And I would plan on doing the same thing. Work 8 to 5 and work 40 hours. You get elected to work 40 hours. Work 40 hours. The simple thing you can do is not shy away from work. And if you do your work, if you do your job, then you're going to get things done.
And Jay, like, I got to be really genuine, like, with you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I walk into the court and you're the bailiff and you stand there stoic, very the look of the enforcer, right? But I think what most people don't know about you is that underneath that bravado, you have the biggest heart.
I think so.
Like, you are a really good man.
Thank you.
And I've seen what the family you've raised and the principles that you've instilled like in your kids, and of all the jobs you have, I think the one you haven't touched based on is you just being like a great father, man. And I think that's what's like awesome about you, man.
You got me.
And
it's the truth.
It's the truth, Jay. It's the truth, man.
The thing with public service is people think that, hey, are you a politician? I'm not a politician. I'm a parent. I'm a public servant, and I've never been about money, and working in the public sector, we take orders, And when certain people get in office, they want to do their own thing, and there's got to be that accountability. And I'll be honest with you, I'll work from 6 in the morning. I get home around 10, and my wife calls them Cinderella duties. I get home and I iron my kids' uniforms. Make sure that their uniforms are ready for the next day. I'll put a shine on my boots and iron my stuff for the next day. So I get home. I don't go to bed till because she goes, "Oh, you got your Cinderella duties ready."
Kids, yeah, man.
So we have a spare room, and the spare room is the ironing, it's a bed, and for guests, and be all the uniforms ready to iron. I'll iron them, or if it's my daughter's dress, I'll steam it, and I have a steamer in there, got an ironing board in there, and every night. So if I go and I'm campaigning when I get home, that's not it. I'll shower and I'll do the ironing.
The Cinderella duties.
Cinderella duties. Yeah, Cinderella duties.
Yeah, and what's that saying? I mean, it's a very common saying. You judge a man not by the car he drives or the house he lives in, but by the character like of his children. And your children are great, man.
I go to your court typically first.
No one
because
said that, Chris. No one's accusing you of anything.
Why
are you?
I was going to make a point. I mean, some of us don't roll in there at 10 o'clock with our Raptor
I'm
real
just
loud.
saying,
You know,
if you have to
violating the noise ordinance of the city. Can we look into that, Jay? Can we look into Efrain's Raptor? I think it may violate the noise ordinance here in Edinburgh.
There might be a noise.
It's that gray one parked up there, the real obtrusive one.
If you have to come in and say you never did something,
I never said I never did. I said I typically go there first because I know your judge is on the bench usually by 8:30. The only time it's delayed is maybe there's a juvenile case. Right. And so I know Judge Rose, your judge, Judge Ramon, they typically start at 8:30 and they're prompt. So I know, like you said, I can go in there, oh, he's doing a juvenile case, Jay, I'll be back. And so for me, it works because I'm usually out of the courthouse by 10:30, maybe the latest 11.
Jay is running to be like the JP judge, right? And he's been working for probably one of the best well-known judges in Hidalgo County. And Jay has experience with lawyers and their schedules. And Jay, you're going to carry all that over with you.
Of course.
When you become a judge, right? Like,
of course.
Yeah. It's almost like Judge Mancias has, if you become judge, would kind of be like your mentor. That's where you learn, seeing rulings, all that stuff.
Yeah, of course. Exactly.
Yeah,
except I don't know about running the 10 miles in the morning.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone.
We give it 4 to go run.
Yeah,
the law enforcement plus working the 93rd, the experience of this is serious work. It's not a game. And I know I've called certain JPs where I'm like, hey, you guys signed this warrant. I need a copy of it. Well, we don't have a copy. I'm like, you're required to keep one. And so you have that experience both on the judicial side and the law enforcement side. That is something that, hey, I know attorneys might ask for this, so we need to dot our I's and cross our T's because at the end of the day, it's my name on the signature.
Well, a lot of things that people don't understand is when they look at the law enforcement side of things, you see a certain amount. Law enforcement doesn't punish. Right? They don't do the punishing. They do the enforcing. Courts do the punishing. So when you see the court side, you see half the side. You see the law enforcement side, you see another side. But then there's a third side to it that makes it the triangle, and that's the jury. So one of my jobs is to secure the jury and to deal with between the jury and the judge, because once the jury gets chosen, they become the judges of the facts. So you get to see kind of the 360 in a case. You see the law enforcement side, you see the judicial side, and then you see the jury side. And not a lot of people can say they see all three areas of a case.
Yeah, because I know Ef'n either.
The important part is after the case is done, the attorneys are there and they ask all the questions they have. And attorneys, for some reason, they always have the questions. They want to know, where did I go? What did I do right? And whether it's a civil case, whether it's a criminal case, the attorneys always know what questions they want answered. And the jury's more than happy to offer that information. And you see that. You see that. You know, so I'm the fly on the wall that sees that, and you see the jury, you see the attorneys, you see the judge. So all that interaction, you start to see a broader vision of what the justice system is like. And a lot of times people say, well, the cops pulled me over, but they don't have this, that, and this. That's in the movies, man. If you see in real life, you see it play out, and you learn more. You learn more by seeing all angles of it. So when I talk about experience, I mean, it's good to see one side, but it's so much more educational to see all the sides. So that to me, I think can't pay for that kind of.
Thanks for coming. When is the election?
Well, early vote is February the 20th, so it goes on for about 2 weeks. March 5th at primaries.
Oh, so that's right around the corner.
Very soon. Well, we wish you luck, and again, thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming on, and